Hello, geeks and geekettes, and welcome back to another edition of the Geek Station, where we are talking Star Trek Discovery, and this time it's episode 3. And as always, as last week, I am joined by my good friend Ash. Say hello, Ash.
Boy, hello.
Hello. How are you doing? All right.
I'm not so bad. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. So we've literally just watched episode 3 of Star Trek Discovery. Context is for Kings. Mm-hmm. Which they managed to squeeze the episode title into a speech, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah, they did that quite well. Impressed.
So after the excitement that was last week, watching the first 2 episodes, Star Trek back on TV for the first time in almost 15 years, something ridiculous like that, maybe even longer than that.
But I think so. Yeah,
it was a long time. This feels. Last week's, I felt that last week's 2 episodes felt like they felt like a film,
a short film. Yeah,
good
description.
And then this felt more like a TV show.
Yes.
And I want to say it felt more like Trek, but it's still not quite feeling it, is it?
No, I've got my reservations, but.
Yeah,
it feels much more Star Trek-y. There's a lot more like the old Star Trek in it.
Yes.
Roles, science officer, security officer, that's all coming back.
Yep.
Which is good.
And we met the captain, actual captain.
The proper captain of the Discovery, which I'm excited for. Yeah, I mean, it feels more Star Trek-y.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go into it. We'll break down the episode. And give people our thoughts, because I know people are itching to hear what we thought about it.
Yeah.
So it opens up. It's 6 months after the end of the last episode.
Yep.
And Michael Burnham, the mutineer, is being transported somewhere.
Yeah.
She's on a shuttle full of other prisoners.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to know who she is.
Yeah.
We discover that she's the first ever mutineer in Starfleet. I was trying to rack my brains. I don't think there probably isn't another mutineer.
No, I don't think there is.
Certainly, mutinous actions have happened in Star Trek.
Yeah, of course.
But certainly, I mean, in this timeline, obviously, I suppose she probably is the first.
Yeah.
But it's 100 years of Starfleet, and no one's ever mutinied.
No one's ever thought, I don't like this captain's decision.
Yeah.
Pew, off you go.
Seems a bit odd, doesn't it?
It
really.
does,
but
yeah.
Hey, we'll go with it. Sure, why not? So they're flying along. I had quite a cool moment when they were in the shuttle, and they start to get these little space bugs.
Yep.
That feed off electricity.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen a lot of that in any Star Trek. Actually, we haven't seen a lot of space-faring creatures.
Yeah, they refer to them as species CH-52.
Something like that, yeah.
Which reminds me very much of the Borg.
That's what I was thinking as soon as I saw it.
Designations, but it's cool. It's cool to see. We've had in Next Generation, space anomalies that seem to have a consciousness, but it's nice to see something a little bit more feasible, like bugs or spores.
Yeah, just a little tiny something feeding off the electricity. Something very unearthly.
Yeah.
And the pilot has to go out to clean them off the ship.
Yep.
And then Burnham goes, "Don't worry, we'll be fine." And then instantly the pilot gets knocked off and spun into space, which I thought was funny. And then they get tracked by the namesake Discovery, and we see the ship for the first time. So what do we think to the look of the ship?
Well, I believe that it's kind of going down the route of the original series now. So the bridge is actually plopped on top.
That's right, yes, as opposed to the Shinzo where it was underneath the saucer section.
So it's a much more traditional layout, which is awesome. I'm glad we're going down that route. The shape, the triangular nature of it reminds me very much of some of the Romulan ships, but
Oh yeah, it's a bit. It's like it looks like a bit like an arrow with a round head, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But I mean, as I said, I'd like to see it in a size comparison compared to something like the Enterprise, the original Enterprise.
I don't think that we're only 3 episodes in, so there isn't much canon available on the internet as to how big the ship is. I'm sure that will come. Yeah. At some point through the seasons.
But it does look very much original series-esque.
Where the Shinzo looked a bit NX style,
yes.
This looks more Constitution class, doesn't it, really? Yeah. It's almost there.
So we got its designation,
NCC...
Yes, NCC 1031.
Something like that, yeah. Which I appreciated.
Yeah,
I thought that was quite good.
It's nice that they're showing that this is definitely before Kirk, because he's obviously 1701.
Yes,
So we're a good few ships before him, at least 600.
Yeah.
Which doesn't fare well for Starfleet if they've got 600 ships.
Well, it's only 10 years, and they are in war with the Klingons.
Oh, yeah.
And they do just shamelessly blow up one of their own ships at the end of this episode, but we'll get to that. So yeah, it looks quite good. We get to see inside. This show looks so good.
It does. The graphics are amazing. They're out of this world.
And the sets and just the. I mean, I'm still struggling with the whole 10 years before the original series aesthetic.
I mean, site-to-site transporters, really, but
and
it's all graphic UI as well. It's all heads-up displays. They didn't have that. Come on, seriously.
Pinch to zoom as well in one of the scenes.
I mean, what is this, iOS?
Yeah. So she gets onto the ship and she meets these prisoners disembark and they meet the head of security.
Yep.
Who is wearing gold, not red.
Not red.
We haven't seen any red yet on these outfits, costumes, uniforms.
No, but we have been introduced to silver, which is very new.
So I think silver must obviously be the new blue.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that. But
I mean, because they've got the gold and we've got the silver/blue, but just throwing a bit of red there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still struggling with gold. I mean, gold was always command in the original series.
Yes, and they managed to bring that in Enterprise as well.
Yeah,
but in Enterprise, even the engineers and the security guys had the little bit of red trim.
Yeah, and I mean in the original series, red was engineering and security.
Yeah.
Now they've got engineers, but they're again gold. So
yeah,
and yellow.
Well, I think
silver at the same time.
Yeah, we haven't. That's a bit disappointing. But as I say, I'm still trying to reconcile this with the new with the original series. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there
slowly.
Anyway, so she has to go to the mess because they have to feed these prisoners.
Yeah.
And the helmsman of the Shinzu is there.
Yeah.
And she's missing half her hair.
Yeah.
And she's wearing some sort of brace. So she's obviously got injured during the Battle of the Binary Stars, which is now known.
Yeah.
From the previous episode. And basically the prisoners are like, we're going to make you the latest casualty of the Klingon War.
Yeah.
And she goes all Vulcan martial arts on them.
Yeah. I mean, that was our first hint of something going down, whether they wanted her there or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah.
It was cool.
It was. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It looked good. I liked it. And then anyway, so she gets to go and meet the captain, and we get to the bridge, which is very much like the Shinzo's bridge.
Yeah.
It's not. I was hoping for something a little bit more TOS. Again, I'm just hoping for something.
Something that kind of lines TOS up that says this is why they did it this way, and not kind of going, well, they just randomly decided. I mean,
I can kind of get it with Discovery because it's kind of an experimental science ship, as we discover. It may be not necessarily the same class as all the other ships. It's
yeah, but I mean, they referred to having a sister ship, so it's kind of like, well, they've made two.
Well, that's true, but maybe just for this experiment, which we'll get to at the end of the episode. But and we meet Saru, so he's now First Officer Saru.
Yeah.
I really like him. Yeah? I like him because he's a proper alien.
Yeah.
You know, he's 7.5 foot tall. He's got weird little things that come out of the back of his head.
Yeah, we realised that in this episode.
Yeah, which is cool. I don't know. I really like the character.
Mm-hmm.
He seems a lot more confident.
He does
in this episode.
I mean, I like him. He's very human in his way of phrasing things sometimes.
Yes.
I like that. I like, she's trying to say sorry, and he's saying, yeah, I can see that you regret it, but
yeah, no, but
it's your own fault.
Don't bother. Yeah, right. That's it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to look after my captain better than you did. Well,
yes. Yeah. So we meet the captain. So played by Jason Isaacs.
Mm-hmm.
This is where's his name? I forget. Lorca, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gabriel Lorca.
Yeah.
And our first introduction that we meet of him is that he's got something wrong with his eyes, a battle scar, and he has to transition between light slowly, so the lights slowly fade up on him very ominously. And in his ready room, he's got like a tactical readout of the Klingon Federation War.
Yeah.
Showing the battlefronts and stuff, and there's a tribble. He's got like a pet tribble, which is just cooing all through the scene, like.
Yeah, I don't know how much I like that, but
it's a tribble.
It's a nice sort of homage to the original series.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I quite liked it. I love tribbles. Who doesn't? Just make sure you don't feed him anything. And basically he goes, you're going to be on my ship, you're going to work, so I'm going to assign you to some engineering.
Yep.
So, makes sense, perfectly, okay, sure. Then we have kind of the comic relief we're introduced to, which is the cadet.
Yeah.
So this is Sylvia Tilly is the character name, played by Mary Wiseman. So she's a bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing she said is because of my special needs.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
I'm thinking now, is that an equal rights thing? Introducing, 'cause I kept picking up a vibe, with Michael and the original captain, the female at the start of the series. So maybe they are just throwing bits everywhere and kind of.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, for sure. She's
very, very, as you say, comical, and I quite liked it.
She's nice. I like her. Yeah. She's bubbly. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's full of optimism.
As she says, I'm going to be a captain. I need help.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I want you to show me how to be a fantastic first officer, and then after that, fantastic captain.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that.
No, I did have to say, I did like her. So then we go to engineering. Tiny little engineering set they've got.
Yeah, they've obviously got that bay behind engineering,
which is very original series. Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking back to how big the engine room is in the original series, and that's actually quite small. Actually,
and they've got the guardrails around the top and steps down. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's very much original series. I like that.
Yeah. And we're introduced to the chief engineer. This is Paul Stamets, he's a bit of a dick, really.
I don't know how to put it, but I don't like him.
One thing about this series, and this is one thing that I read, that they were going to do, is they were going to introduce conflict into this series. They were going to have the officers on the ship in conflict with each other.
Yeah, not everyone's friendly.
That's it. And, there's a bit where Captain Lorca basically says, you're going to take Burnham with you on this mission.
Yep.
And he's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, this isn't a democracy. You basically do what I say because I'm the bloody captain. Don't mess with me.
So, okay.
And you would never hear Picard turning around and saying something like that, would you? Like,
I mean, we had a little bit of that in Voyager.
I suppose.
That was different because, they were in a completely different situation. Very much, we're lost now.
And it was always between the Marquis officers and Starfleet, and the Marquis are not Starfleet officers, or some of them are obviously ex-Starfleet officers. But
I mean, these are Starfleet v Starfleet. I mean, I get, Starfleet against the the mutineer, as it were. But I can see the conflict. I can see how that would help, but
it's going to make it certainly more interesting. Yeah. The thing I picked up on definitely in this episode, less so in the last one, but that was because obviously it was a TV movie to introduce this new universe.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of character development in this.
Yes.
There's going to be lots of moments between characters, and so far, I mean, the acting is incredible.
Yeah.
And when they're standing on these sets, I mean, I was just a bit. There's a bit at the end with the Captain Isaac and Jason Isaacs, Captain Lorca, and Michael Burnham when they're chatting and he's introducing her to what they're doing and welcoming, trying to get her to join the crew.
Yeah.
That was just incredible. They were playing off each other and it just looked. I was just. This is good.
Yeah, I mean they've got some. I wouldn't say A-list, but they've got some real high caliber of actor. Obviously,
yeah, sure.
Jason Isaacs, as we all know,
yeah,
was Snape's. Not Snape's. Was Malfoy's father in.
Yes, that's
Harry Potter.
it. Exactly. Yeah.
So he's a very, very well known actor, and Michael Burnham. She starred in The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. That's it. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
You've got two very good actors. As you say, firing off on each other and doing very well. I'm looking forward to the acting. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's good, and the writing as well. It's very 2017. There's no corny lines here. There's no kind of corny Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, there's no he's dead, Jim.
Yeah, no, this is it. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
it's a good mix. You've got very serious bits, and you've got some quite comical bits as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
They really did. They found a nice mix in this.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Anyway, so we're introduced to a black alert.
Oh yes.
Which was very odd, and we find out later on that the ship is doing these experiments, and we're not quite sure what they are at this stage. But they have black alert maneuvers.
Yes.
And their sister ship, while during Black Alert maneuvers, suffered a catastrophe and all the crew are dead.
Yes.
So they need to go and find all their scientific equipment and bring it back and discoveries and stuff. So they form a boarding party, and of course Michael Burnham is on that boarding party. So they land on this new ship, and of course the cadet is with them, Sylvia Tilly's with them, the head of security is with them. An unnamed red shirt, although he's not wearing a red shirt, is with him, and I almost said to you while we were watching it, like, he's the red shirt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, he was giving some forlorn looks to the crew, and I was just,
he's gonna go.
Yeah, he had red shirt written all over him, definitely. Anyway, so they make it onto the ship, and it was a bit like Event Horizon almost on this ship, very grim,
very dark. I didn't like how dark it was. You couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah, I felt that as well.
It's kind of like you're alluding to this problem on what they've now told you is the sister ship, the USS Glenn.
Glenn, that's it. Yes, yeah.
And you've got all the crew strewn about the ship in a what I describe as a melted state.
Yeah, they're all twisted and burst and horrible and. Ugh.
I know that because it's fresh in my memory, I've been watching it recently. The Warp 10 experiments.
Oh yes, in Voyager.
In Voyager, yeah. They this rings very much the same as that.
Yes,
we can be everywhere and anywhere
at the same
all
time.
At the same time.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that at the end because I have some thoughts as to the reveal of what they've been working on.
So
they go onto the ship and they there's a moment where a Klingon steps out from the shadows and shushes them.
Again, humour. I quite like that.
Which was and then they go, "Did he just shush you?" I thought that was very Next Generation actually. A Klingon shushing you, and the Klingon is instantly grabbed from behind by some unknown creature.
Yeah, we're introduced to that for the first time, which is
yeah.
I mean, I didn't
some alien.
I didn't quite get the premise of that.
I have a feeling, and we'll talk about it, I think, a little bit when we get to the end of the episode, but I think this was possibly a creature from either another dimension or a place they haven't been to yet that they, a bit like Event Horizon, they brought something back from their space travels.
I mean, what's the when Michael and the first officer are first on board the ship, he explains that the Discovery is able to house 300 scientific experiments all at once.
That's the other option, of course, is that
so maybe they did something to some earthbound creature that's now turned it into a giant dribbling mess.
Possibly for the war effort, who knows? Yeah, because it's all about war, this episode. It's all about, we're Starfleet and we must win this war.
Well, I mean, the captain's, as it was alluded to in some of the information online, he's one of the best tacticians.
Apparently, he's a brilliant military tactician who is probably more fucked up than any of the previously other Star Trek captains, apparently.
Well, you can't get much worse than what he is so far.
That's it. Yeah, he seems. I think he's going to be quite callous.
He seems a bit unhinged.
Yeah, he does a little bit, doesn't he? Yeah. So anyway, they engage in this this chase through the ship into engineering, and they manage to escape because Michael Burnham annoys it by shooting it with the kill setting. And then we see Jeffrey's tubes.
Yep, that's a new one.
Which we didn't see. They didn't have Jeffrey's tubes in Enterprise, did they? No, I didn't think they did.
And they didn't really in the original series.
They
sort of did. They had obviously. They had not caverns, little cavities in the corridors that went up and down.
And we saw kind of Jeffrey's-esque tubes in the films, the original series films, didn't we as well? But but you could walk in them. Obviously, famously. Who knocks the head? Scotty knocks his head. I know that. I know this ship like the back of my hand. And dong. Yeah. Anyway, so then she starts. She's crawling through these Jeffrey's tubes with this creature chasing after her. She starts reciting lines from Alice in Wonderland.
She does, yes.
Which we will come to in a second. Anyway, and then she manages to drop down into the shuttle bay, and the shuttle bay is waiting for her, and they zoom off, and they've rescued the scientific equipment and
very
all of
hero-esque.
that. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, they're back on the ship, and surprise, surprise, she's on the bridge, and the captain is asking her
to
join them, and she says, "No, I don't want to do it because you're developing." Quite clearly, some sort of weapon.
What she thinks is a weapon.
That's right.
It could still be.
Yeah. And it's at that point where he asks the computer to initiate a site-to-site transport, and it goes back to what we were saying last week about this computer.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about this, if I'm honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, another little thing about it's not necessarily the computer, but communications on the ship seem much more kind of like a tannoy rather than comms. That people are pressing a button and they're coming across the entire ship. We saw that at the start when they were saying, "Ensign, come to the medical bay." That is a bit weird.
I also I was a bit disappointed when they were in the turbo lift and there was no grippy handle thing.
Yeah, the doors don't seem right either.
And they're not making the swish sound.
No, they're very.
Yeah,
they look like Tron.
Yeah, it does look very. It's I suppose it is as if you would imagine the original series in 2017. I suppose knowing what comes after with the Generation and Voyager, but I don't know. I mean, there's even some lens flare in some of the shots. It's very Abrams-esque.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. They're trying to fit this in with the same, not canon or timeline, but just kind of the same kind of atmosphere as the films.
That's it. They are. They are trying to. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they do a site-to-site transport to engineering, where the captain reveals that they have developed or are developing a new form of space travel, which involves the spore, these mycelium spores, which they're growing on the ship, which is kind of cool. We see that. We see her. Yep. She breaks into this secure area, and we see these very cool. And it's basically about the fact that at the subatomic level, there is something that links the entire universe together, and if you can somehow tap into that subatomic network, you can be everywhere in the universe at any point whenever you like.
Yeah.
And it was revealed that the sister ship, the Glenn, was able to travel 80 light years in 1.3 seconds
The beta quadrant.
to the Great Beta Quadrant, which I don't know at this stage, but certainly in the generation, the Beta Quadrant it's where the Romulans are, and it's where Federation space covers half the Alpha Quadrant and half the Beta Quadrant. So I don't know where the Federation is at this timeline. I must confess.
But if they're going there, then.
But it's a long way. Let's put it that way. I mean, 80 light years in 1.3 seconds. You know, Janeway would have been home in months.
Well, less than that. Wouldn't
Well, there you go. So it seems a bit too techy. That's my only thing.
Yeah,
They were never talking about this in the original series. You know?
they
were spending too much time going on to Earth-like planets with, I don't know.
Yeah, Earth-like planets with, cardboard backgrounds.
Yeah.
I liked that they're kind of experimenting. That makes sense. I'm trying to. This is obviously the origins of Starfleet, essentially. That and obviously the original Enterprise. They're doing it well for the series that it is. Whether they're doing it well for the timeline, not so much.
That's it. I mean, I can't fault I mean, it's incredible, and I am very excited about what they want to do. But it just seems still a bit too techy.
Yeah, and the stuff they're describing, they're saying it's the veins and the muscles of the universe. This kind of feels like Star Wars and the Metachlorians. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Well, it did get a bit existential, for sure. Yeah. There was a cool moment where she was in this tank, and he presumably sent her around the universe with one click of a button, and she was an Andoria, and then Andoria, and then on Romulus, and then somewhere else. Yeah, they didn't say what that was.
No.
I was thinking they had a really good opportunity there to kind of show a species that we're not going to see, but we will see further on into like the Star Trek universe. Like maybe
I thought it was maybe Kronos or something like that, though. I don't know. I mean,
the whole black and green theme of that scene made me think Borg, but
no, possibly,
there's no way they're going to have Borg in this series.
No, well, I hope not. They managed to squeeze them into bloody Enterprise enough, didn't they? Yeah, let's not forget the Borg episode in Enterprise. Yeah. Anyway, and I like the idea. The premise is basically that they're developing this new form of space travel, so they can, basically have the ship, target, zoom into Klingon space, blow something up, and zoom out.
Yes,
that's the general idea.
Here, there, and everywhere.
That's it. And then the captain, basically Jason Isaacs, goes, join us, because that will be amazing, and you'll be able to help us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You started the war. Why not help finish it?
That's it. And it's a good premise. I quite like it. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. She goes into her quarters. Oh yes, Alice in Wonderland. So her Ward's wife read it to her and his son. Yeah. Spock is going to be in this series. He's going to be. They haven't revealed it yet.
No.
But Spock is going to turn up in one of these 16 episodes. I'm prepared to put money on it.
I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know when. But I know as a massive Leonard Nimoy Spock fan, I am not going to like it. I'm going to, as you say, if you're willing to put money on the fact that he's going to be in it, I will put money on the fact
What happens if it's I can't remember who's the guy who plays him in the Abrams films?
They can't. I don't think they'll do that.
I think they're queuing it up. I think they've already said that. Excuse me. They've already said that we're going to see him as a child. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see her running around with little baby Spock. I think we've already seen Sarek. Apparently he's a character in it. Mm. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Spock as a Starfleet commander, whatever.
A cadet, because I assume that Michael is older than Spock.
Well, I don't think so, because if this is set 10 years before Kirk, and Kirk did the Kirabashi Maru,
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, thank you. which Spock programmed, then Spock already has to be at the academy.
Yeah.
Which means he has to be much older. But so I don't know what they're doing with the timeline. I don't.
Yeah, and unless, just clutching at straws here.
Go on.
Unless Michael is vastly younger than what Spock is.
I think, yeah.
And his the mother read Amanda, as she says, read the book to Spock as a child, and then Michael.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
at the same time.
I don't know. I think. Well, we will be revealed in some flashback as we'll see the age difference, and then we'll come back to this conversation. But I am sure that Spock is going to be in this series.
I'm not.
He's going to make a cameo. Just watch this space. So yeah. Anyway, and then the final scene is Captain Lorca and the head of security who trying to find what her name was. Ash Tyler, maybe. Yeah, there's a chemistry. Yeah, shared. Yeah, Ash Tyler. So apparently she's a former prisoner of war. Now that would be interesting to come out. Apparently she has PTSD. So that's going to be quite an interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I heard you say or mumble chemistry there.
Between because there's this moment where he goes, "Thank you for beaming it aboard."
Anything, anytime.
That's it. There's definitely definitely something there.
Thank you for beaming it aboard.
Yes, and then he turns and he's in some sort of biological one of the obviously the 300 stations on Discovery.
It looks like it's in his ready room.
Well, yeah, possibly. Yeah,
he's got
or maybe his own secret lab or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's got skulls in kind of cages. He's got.
I'm sure that was a Klingon skeleton, maybe hanging up.
He had, like I say, skeletons, and he's walked up to the force field. Hello, Kitty. Or Hey, Kitty. So,
and then the creature, the aforementioned creature that chased the other people through the ship on the Glen, just starts like attacking the force field, and he knows what that is. I think.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if, although he spent all that time explaining to Michael it's not a weapon, he's actually just
maybe the two things are related.
Yeah, maybe he's lying to get her to come aboard.
Oh, almost definitely.
Yeah,
almost definitely. Like that probably the being able to travel vast distances, I reckon, is a byproduct. Exactly that, which is probably what Paul Stamets, the engineer, wants. That's what he wants out of it. But what they've discovered is that actually, I don't know, they can get creatures from another dimension or whatever it may be. I don't know.
Or I don't know. I mean, we've not seen it used for anything other than travel
yet.
Yes,
yeah, this is it.
Maybe we see that just a spark can set it off as a rather large explosion. Maybe. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. It's very intriguing, anyway. We should put it that way.
Yeah.
So, and that was the end of the episode. So I'm feeling very excited about this series now. I feel more excited than I did after last week's.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're on the ship. Now we've met the crew. I love the crew. I think there's going to be lots of tension between them, which is good. Which is something we haven't seen, not in a prolonged sense, anyway, on any type of Star Trek show before. I mean, of course, you have people in Starfleet and in other shows falling out in an episode, but then it's always very much by the end of the episode they're all friends again.
Yeah, they hug it out.
Exception to that may be Deep Space Nine, but even then, the main cast, the main crew,
they all get on.
They all still get on.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I feel that there's going to be tension every week.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be something going on. There's going to be distrust. There's going to be. There's Lorca, the tactician and military leader, with Stamets, the scientist, Michael Burnham somewhere in between.
She just wants to keep her nose clean.
Which she does, but is she going to though? That's
I think she will. I mean, we haven't. I'm hoping we're going to get a medical officer, like chief of.
I'm not sure. There's certainly no one on the cast list, I have to say.
No, but I'm hoping that because you can only assume that if they're on a medical ship that's dealing with new and charted territories that someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to just have some form of new disease and they have to cure it.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, I'm hoping for a lot more character development. I picked up on quite a good piece in the engineering decks of the USS Glenn. Michael asks for a phaser. The cadet says no, you don't get a phaser.
Yeah, mutineers don't get phasers.
And the engineer, the one who's always been against the idea of Michael, just without question, just throws
was it her? Or was it him? Or was it the security officer that threw?
I think it was him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the security officer, but either way, it was just like,
someone's
no,
like,
shut up, cadet. Like, give her it.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
We're in a situation where we're either going to die or we try something.
Yes.
At the end of the day, if it fails, we die. If it succeeds, we don't die. Let's try it.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm excited. It's made me more excited for the rest of the series. Certainly more than I was last week, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next few episodes. We've got 5 more this series this year,
okay,
and then we've got another 8 after Christmas, so January, February time. So expect some sort of epic cliffhanger at the end of this series. I think it's coming.
Yeah, there's got to be something, and I'm wondering if she's going to get reinstated into Starfleet for her valor.
Yeah, it's
for her efforts towards the war.
That's going to happen. Let's be honest. I think. Oh, well, maybe not this series, but
no.
I have to say, I really do already. I hope that this gets renewed.
I think it will. I mean, not that I condone it, but this has already gone on record as being the #1 illegally downloaded TV show. Which I'm sorry,
it beat Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, within the first day, it was downloaded a lot, but
that may also
it's been hyped up a lot.
I'm actually just looking here. It's the first episode got 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
9.5 million viewers in the US, which for a TV show in the US is very, very good. It's interesting. Well, we'll have to stay tuned.
Yes.
Next week's episode is called, wait for it, The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry. Very deep.
Very deep. I have thoughts on that. I think I know where this could be going.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we will. That's been our view. Out of 10 for this episode?
Did we give last 2 episodes?
We didn't. I was actually going to go back and get you to rate those ones as well.
Okay.
So, but we'll have to rate that one, last week's episode, as one. I think.
One. Well, this week, I'd probably give it maybe an 8.
An 8. Okay, and then last week's.
It's got to go less. It's got to say a 7.
Yeah, see, I was thinking I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7, and I was a bit kind of but this episode, I would like to give it an 8. Yeah, I think an 8, or maybe an 8.5. I think an 8. I will stick with an 8.
Yeah,
it shows a lot more potential.
Oh yes,
than the last episode.
A lot more, but I kind of wanted it to go a little further.
Yeah,
it wasn't cliffhanger. It was just. Death.
They're teasing us though. They're teasing us, Ash. That's what it is. They're teasing us for next week.
Definitely.
Well, there you go. Anyway, well, that was myself and Ash, the Geek Station's special Star Trek podcast for this week. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Geek Station. If you are listening to this episode on iTunes, a little review and a little comment would be fantastic. If you do, I will definitely read them out for you. And don't forget to check out the other videos on YouTube. We've got some gameplay videos. We've been playing. We've got a Speedrunners Cup that we've been playing. Very, very good, very tense game. And also don't forget the Geek Station proper podcast, which is available every Monday on iTunes in the morning, and then in the evenings it's available on the YouTubes. You can find me at Mr. Cincinnati. If you are listening to this, tweet me. Let me know what you thought about the either episode. That would be awesome. And I suppose there's nothing else to say except it's goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.